Mr. and Mrs. Lewis had lived in the small town by the lake for as long as anyone could remember. They were the kind of couple people would point out with a smile, the ones who still held hands, even after 55 years of marriage. Every evening, they would walk to the park by the lake and sit on their favorite bench, a little worn, but sturdy and constant, much like their love. That bench had been the witness to their lives, their laughter, their tears, their hopes, and dreams. One day, as spring painted the park in shades of green and pink, Mrs. Lewis wasn't feeling well. She had been growing weaker over the months, and even their daily walks were becoming a struggle. Mr. Lewis, ever the optimist, still brought a cushion for her spot every evening, just in case she wanted to join him. Then one sunny afternoon, Mrs. Lewis surprised him. She insisted on walking to the bench, despite her frailty. Slowly, they made their way there, each step a testament to her determination. She leaned heavily on Mr. Lewis, but her eyes sparkled with joy when they finally reached their special spot. She sank onto the bench, her breath heavy but her smile bright. "I wanted to see our lake again," she said, gazing out at the shimmering water. Mr. Lewis sat beside her, his heart swelling with both love and sadness. He took her hand in his, feeling its familiar warmth. "Do you remember the first time we found this place?" he asked. Mrs. Lewis chuckled. "How could I forget? We came here for a picnic, and I ended up dropping the entire basket into the lake." She laughed, and he joined her, their laughter echoing across the water. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden ripples across the lake's surface. They talked, sharing stories they'd told 100 times before, but they never grew old. Mrs. Lewis leaned her head on Mr. Lewis's shoulder, her voice softening as the sun began to set. "This bench, this lake, it's more than just a place, isn't it?" she murmured. "It's our life. It's every moment we've ever shared." Mr. Lewis felt tears welling in his eyes. He looked out at the lake, the sun's last rays turning the water a deep orange. "As long as this bench stands, so will our memories," he whispered. He wrapped his arm around her, holding her close, as if trying to keep time from moving forward. That was the last time Mrs. Lewis made it to the bench. After that day, her strength waned quickly, and soon she was gone. Mr. Lewis felt lost without her, but he knew where he needed to be. Every evening, he would walk to the park, to their bench, bringing with him a small notebook. He would sit there, writing down the memories they had shared, every laugh, every story, every sunset they had watched together. Years passed, and Mr. Lewis too grew frail. People in the town noticed how the bench was starting to show its age, the wood worn and splintering, much like Mr. Lewis himself. One day, they decided to do something about it. The townspeople gathered to restore the old bench, sanding down the wood, painting it anew, and reinforcing it. They added a small brass plaque that read, "For Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, whose love made time stand still." Mr. Lewis smiled when he saw the plaque, his heart swelling with pride and love. He sat down on the freshly restored bench, feeling Mrs. Lewis's presence beside him, just as strong as ever. And as the sun set, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Mr. Lewis knew that their love story was still alive, etched into every sunset, every ripple of the lake, and every creak of the old bench. The bench remained a symbol of a love that endured, one that the townspeople admired and hoped to have for themselves. And every evening, the sun would dip below the horizon, painting the sky as beautifully as it had when Mr. and Mrs. Lewis were there together, reminding everyone that some love stories never really end. Let's learn some interesting words from the story. Optimist. Meaning, a person who always looks on the bright side of things and expects good outcomes. Example, even though it was raining on their wedding day, Jane was an optimist and believed it would make their day even more special. Frailty. Meaning, the condition of being weak or delicate. Example, his grandmother's frailty made it difficult for her to climb stairs without assistance. Leaned. Meaning, to rest your body against something for support. Example, she leaned against the wall while waiting for her friend. Welling. Meaning, to fill up or rise, usually used to describe emotions or liquid. Example, tears were welling in his eyes as he listened to the sad story. Waned. Meaning, to gradually decrease or become weaker. Example, her energy waned after hours of working in the garden. Splintering. Meaning, breaking into small, sharp pieces. Example, the old chair was splintering, and the wood was starting to come apart. Brass plaque. Meaning, a flat piece of brass, often used to write names or messages, usually attached to a wall or object. Example, the park bench had a brass plaque that said, "Dedicated to our beloved friend, John." Etched. Meaning, carved or engraved onto a surface. Example, their names were etched into the stone, forever marking their love.